Manifestation, the process of making something manifest, making something happen. Your goals, your dreams, your visions, perhaps even fantasy, making that become something that you can see, touch, feel in this context, in this dimension. How do we do that? In today's video, I would like to give you guys an analogy. Manifestation is really about giving something focused effort, focused energy, pouring energy into an idea, doing the inspired actions until that idea can make itself manifest, which is the same thing as what researchers do. For those of you who have been through college, you know that you write something called a thesis. A thesis basically is a motion which you will prove in the course of your essay that's full of fact-finding and references. A thesis is to gather all the supporting evidences that something is as such. So if your goal in manifestation is to make a certain amount of money every single month, or to get to a certain position of status in your life, or to afford such a wonderful home for your family, then what remains is to find the supporting evidences to prove this vision to be true. For example, if I see for myself a house of 10,000 square feet, what are the things that will support this vision to be true? Perhaps an income of a certain amount, perhaps a certain customership for the businesses and services that I provide. For that to happen, I would need to have a social network that has a certain net worth, and the list goes on. After a thesis is created by a researcher, they go on to prove that their thesis is possible through research and development. That's where they go into their testing. They make prototypes. They run multitude of experiments, changing certain variables each time. They fine-tune. They analyze the results. After a period of time, they yield the world's latest invention. Due to the problems that this invention solves, it's worth an immense amount of money. And that is why some inventions, they get a patent, and the patent is bought up by the big conglomerates in this world that do not want this problem to be solved. They'll buy this patent until maybe only 10 years later, 20 years later, then only this solution can come out into the world. But until then, we have to buy out this patent because this would put so many other businesses out of business. The point I'm trying to make is that just like how a new invention revolutionizes how things are done in a certain area. For example, how, Apple, when Apple built the MacBook, they didn't start with the MacBook right away.
Right now, it fits in a bread box, and it's $10,000, and it's called Lisa. The next thing we will do is we will find a way to put it in a shoebox and sell it for like $2,500. And that'll be the next step. And finally, we'll find a way to get it in a book and sell it for under $1,000.
When it comes to research that many people ignore, many people just look at the end result. Oh wow, flip phone. Oh wow, curved screen. Oh wow, you can charge at 1,000 kilowatts. Wow, flying car. A lot of people just look at the finished results. A lot of people think, oh wow, it's because all these things are just coming bam, 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 bam. All these technologies are flooding the market. But what they don't see is each of these designs that make it into today's consumer world where we can buy it. There's a lot that goes behind closed doors that we don't know about. Like I mentioned earlier, of course, there are patents that are bought out, and therefore certain ideas never see the light of day. But at the same time, there are also inventors and researchers that could be spending 5 years or even a decade of time working on a certain idea only to have to go back to the drawing board. Many people are saying that, oh wow, China has come up with so many inventions. They've come up with various breakthroughs in AI, in automobile, in weapon technology. But did all that just come out in the blink of an eye? No, China was silent about it. All these ideas have been developed for years or even decades before they were deemed as good enough to make a public launch. I know many of you get disheartened when you're working on your vision for your manifestation goal. Like many of you, I've been through that myself when certain things that I've been manifesting for. And I find that it's been 1 year has passed, 2 years has passed, 3 years has passed, 4 years have passed. But the result, I still feel that I'm some distance away from it. However, we are getting closer, slowly but surely. There are only delays. There is no failure if you do not quit. And let me prove to you that it is perfectly normal that ideas take time. The brand Volvo, automobile brand, right? They've got this performance division. They call it Polestar. They had this car, Polestar 1. Think of the year when Polestar 1 first put their car out to the world to see. It took a fair bit of time, right? And during that fair bit of time, this number of years is proof that manifestation takes time to happen. But upon the technology of Polestar 1, they were then able to very quickly evolve Polestar 2, Polestar 3, Polestar 4. Look into, some of you out there could be car lovers. Some of you out there could be a fan of aeroplanes, perhaps. I want you to think of a concept car, a concept aeroplane. Between the time of the concept announcement and the prototype or the public release, how many years did it take? And even though this idea was conceived back then, doesn't it still look very futuristic when you see it now? Another point I want to prove is that in the span of time that Polestar could roll out Polestar 2, Polestar 3, Polestar 4, that proves that all it really takes is that when you manifest this so-called difficult thing right now, what's difficult to you right now is only difficult because there's a lot of evolution, a lot of things that you needed to substantiate the thesis, a lot of testing and tweaking, a lot of personal improvement needed to be done. But once you get this first manifestation out, this first significant manifestation out, you will very quickly roll out manifestation after manifestation after manifestation. And during that span of time as well, that's not going to be the only thing that manifests. There are going to be a lot of by-the-way manifestations. What are the by-the-way manifestations? For me, some of the by-the-way manifestations is the manifestations of discipline, a work ethic. Because in order to get certain goals that I want, I needed to embody the characteristics within me that could support these goals. The work ethic, the discipline, the perseverance, maybe even some behavioral changes. You become indomitable. You become unfuckwithable. If you heard of that word before. Some of you may have heard of nice guy and good guy. They are two very different things. Nice guy is, the pushover. The good guy, the good guy does what is good and necessary. So I've seen myself evolve. The nice layers have peeled away because sometimes I just get, abused way too much. You may go through a lot of shit sometimes. Some of the shit that I've gone through is like even getting framed for stuff, even getting made the scapegoat for this and that, being put through duress, gaslighting. And in some other videos, I also mentioned that when I look back, the abusive relationship that I'm thankfully out of was actually for my personal development, because it was those skills that I picked up to survive a narcissistic, abusive ex-wife. That was what carried over into my work, because it allowed me to be able to be so strong and stoic and to be able to see through and cut through the bullshit and to be able to weather the various storms I needed to make advancement. Along the way, you're going to see some of the other by-the-way changes as you have this new focus, this new discipline, this new perseverance. Your body is going to change as well, because maybe if you have been waking up late, but over time you become a morning person, you start getting more conscious about your health. You get more conscious about personal conditioning. Your body begins to change. You start aging backwards. You get fitter. And all of these, maybe it's God's way of telling us that you are making progress. You may not have reached the goal that you're trying to manifest right now, but things are definitely happening for you. There is irrefutable evidence that your life is getting better. One last analogy I want to give you. So all these products that we see, all these new whatever that it comes out in the news, like, oh, new discovery, new whatever, new product that does this. All of this stuff is just like the birth of mankind. Did we just come out of our mom's womb? Did we just step out into the world like in a flash? No. We were in our mom's womb for like 9 months before we could come out into this world. We actually went through 4 stages of embryonic development. The very first stage, fertilization. The second stage, bioplast development and implantation. Third stage, embryo development. Fourth stage, fetal development. All of that. And this whole thing is called the gestation period. And even after we were born, did we just get to who we are today? Did we know who we were going to be? Probably not. There's the whole phase of culturing and education before we get to here. So do you still think that even if you've been working on your manifestation for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, it's a long time? Not at all. I hope today I've given you more hope for yourself. And I hope that today I've also helped you to realize how far you've come along. None of this is by chance. All of this is the result of your focus energy, your focus actions that made this possible. You've poured in your energy. You've given energy into your manifestation goal, and therefore it will definitely happen. For another great video, watch this one over here.